Welcome into Of and Known Word on Location, show number 1. Yes, you heard that right, we're branching the content out. This is going to be a show that I'll be recording at the 2026 Able New Hampshire Disability Pride Parade and Festival on July the 18th, 2026. July 18th, 2026. Well, not so fast. We've got a little bit more legislative housekeeping to address first. On July 2nd, Governor Aya acted upon 3 bills that we've referenced and discussed across multiple shows. She vetoed House Bill 1337 regarding the New Hampshire Council on Autism Spectrum Disorders repeal. She signed into law House Bill 1563 regarding the recalculation of supportive education funding, and signed into law Senate Bill 670 in regard to developmental services oversight. Of course, in response to Governor Ayotte's action on House Bill 1337, House Bill 1563, and Senate Bill 670 on July 2nd, 2026, I have 3 responses to each of these. On July 2nd, 2026, Governor Ayotte signed House Bill 1563, supportive education funding recalculation, into law. While I'm not surprised by Governor Ayotte signing this into law, I want to be clear that my opinions on this bill are unchanged. I believe that House Bill 1563 is an attempt to band-aid fix a problem that has been developing for years. I am still neutral on whether House Bill 1563 will actually address the situation in regard to the overall problems of the special education funding, and please refer to parts 7, 11, 12, and 13 for reaction to myself and my guest on this matter. On Senate Bill 670, on July 2nd, 2026, Governor Ayotte signed Senate Bill 670 in regard to developmental service oversight into law. While I'm not surprised by Governor Ayotte signing this into law, I want to be clear that my opinions on this bill are unchanged. I believe that Senate Bill 670 is an attempt to band-aid fix this problem. Refer to the previous parts 7, 11, 12, and 13 for reaction to myself and my guest. In regard to House Bill 1337, on July 2nd, 2026, Governor Ayotte vetoed House Bill 1337 in regard to the repeal of the New Hampshire Autism Council. I am surprised that Governor Ayotte vetoed the repeal in a split with her own party. I am encouraged to know that the effort to repeal the Autism Council has been stopped for the moment. The veto on House Bill 1337 is a win for the New Hampshire disability community. Yes, this moment also serves as a reminder that there is work to be done. Also remember that the New Hampshire Republicans caved to the propaganda of the current administration, and that's why we're having this conversation in the first place. Now, welcome to Of and Known Words. The more eagle-eyed viewers will recognize that the bulk of this show is going to be actually on the road and not in studio, like we've done in the previous 14 installment. Of its own word, going on the road at the 2026 Able New Hampshire Disability Pride Parade and Festival at the New Hampshire State House, Concord. Welcome to the first of its own word from the road, or on location. This is not the first time we have collaborated with Able New Hampshire. Executive Director Dr. Louis Espeto joined myself and State Representative Lily Font in January 2026. And then we had Kristen Evans, the Policy Director at Able, join us in February 2026 to talk about the legislative process, opposite State Representative Heath Howard. Dr. Louis Espeto joined me in March 2026, just about the time of crossover day in the state legislature, to talk about what the actual role of the New Hampshire Autism Council. And then just last month, in part number 14, Sarah Georgian, community organizer with Able, joined me to discuss what Able New Hampshire does in her wording, and also preview the Disability Pride Parade and Festival happening on July 18th, 2026. So, of course, branching out the programming means we need a slightly new look. This program marks a new beginning and new addition to the Of its Own Word family. The logo for Of its Own Word is shown at the top of the screen, both in the Disability Pride flag background and in the regular white background. 13 months ago, I delivered my first speech about autism awareness and the problems with the proposed National Autism Registry at the New Hampshire State House in June 2025. Therefore, the more I think about it, I feel it's only appropriate that the first on-location edition of its own word is recorded at the New Hampshire State House in July 2026. Now that I have taken care of the housekeeping on the intro and responding to the governor's most recent legislative actions in June, or excuse me, early July, our next stop is going to be actually on the road at the New Hampshire State House, Concord, on July the 18th of 2026. And that, at that point, we'll be featuring some of the attending organizations and the sights and sounds of what's actually going on at the event tomorrow. Onward with the show.
Hip hip! Hooray! Here we go! Hip hip! Hooray! I like it! Hip hip! Hooray! Yeah! Let me hear you guys! Come on!
You see, you didn't need it!
Absolutely!
And there's Mo!
Oh, thank you! Let me hear you
They got food for you. They're gonna feed you. Up away! Actually, that's one of the things I thought and that was one of the reasons why I started reading campus. When you think of this that marketing is addressed or that they cut. Yes.
I think also because my mom was with us and then dropped us off, and maybe that's why it's like. Woo!
Where are you going with that? You going home? No.
Very often remind me of.
If you're proud to be who you are, make some noise! If you're proud to be who you are, make some noise!
Love to hear it.
You know, it's not as bad as my voice. It's not as bad. I get that's how you do
Side of the street. That's what Lewis said.
Oh, I was thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember the one in Minnesota. Starts over where the seat building. And it's not as, like if you're not going there to go, it's not as visible. You want to get that color? John, feel level? We haven't staggered too much. Oh, boy. Here we go.
When was your birthday?
May what? 6th? Yeah. But I don't know.
Is that intentional?
I don't know. Actually, yeah, we didn't want to. Hello, hello. How you doing? Thanks for walking with us.
Oh, happy to. Thank you. Great vendors.
Congratulations on your election.
Y'all look good. Y'all look fabulous. I love to see it.
Resources and providing
Look, you over here with the camera.
Makes sense. But it looks like you're going to. Do you live in Concord?
No, I grew up in Holland. Grew up in Holland, moved to Brookline for a while.
That's a cool shirt.
Can you do that one more time? Thank you. I'm gonna dance for now. Okay, come on.
Not too much. Ooh, we got a couch in our parade now.
Openly disabled.
Down off the main street, and there's a shopping looking mall there.
Yeah, it's on the map. It looks like we keep going this way.
Yep.
All right. Oh, sorry. Thanks for calling, guys.
Bring your coffees, come on. You got your bubbles?
There's a flash mob about to happen.
I think, yeah, there
Is it the Kate West thing that happens every year?
no, there was something that they actually requested to share the ground.
Here's Uncle Ronnie! They dance. I don't know. It's some dance that they do.
Good morning, buddy. How are you? Hi. Good morning.
He has no, like, I was like, you are not.
Curry fries going here.
Woo-hoo, it smells good.
Love that place.
Great.
Yeah. Right on. So they totally did not. I thought we were repeating them here. So having a conversation, like, a couple of questions. Email this morning, like, thanks for being part of the run. But like, I know, like she was in communication. It'll be fine. Or it won't.
other organization who provided financial or in-kind support to this event. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you all.
All right, next I want to welcome Judith Kurtz to read the official Disability Pride Day proclamation.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Disability Pride! Woo! I'm Judith Kurtz, at-large City Councilor. Mayor Champlin and Mayor Pro Tem Sakin both wish they could be here today and both send their congratulations. I am honored to be the one who gets to stand with you this morning because what Able New Hampshire has built here, a celebration of every body and every mind right at the heart of our city, is exactly what Concord should be proud of. And resilience of the city of Concord. And whereas the Americans with Disabilities Act, signed into law on July 26, 1990, was a landmark civil rights victory led by disabled activists who demanded equal access, dignity, inclusion, and the right to fully participate in all areas of community life. And whereas the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act affirms the right of students with disabilities to a free and appropriate public education alongside their peers, recognizing that inclusion, belonging, and access to community are essential parts of educational equity and civil rights. And whereas Disability Pride calls on us to recognize that disability intersects with race, ethnicity, gender, sexuality, language, class, immigration status, and other identities, and that barriers to opportunity and belonging often disproportionately impact people living at those intersections. And whereas building truly inclusive communities requires us to move beyond viewing disability as something to be fixed or separated, and instead recognize the value, leadership, culture, and lived experience of disabled people in all aspects of society. And whereas for 36 years, the ADA has challenged our nation, state, and local communities to remove barriers and confront discrimination while recognizing that true inclusion requires ongoing action, accessibility, equity, and shared responsibilities, and two more. Whereas Disability Pride in Concord reflects a shift from seeing disability as something to be fixed or hidden to honoring disability identity, interdependence, culture, and community as sources of pride and strength. And whereas the City of Concord recognizes the importance of creating communities where disabled people are not only accommodated, but welcomed, valued, included, and empowered to thrive. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Mayor Byron Champlin, Mayor of the City of Concord, New Hampshire, do hereby proclaim July 18th, 2026 as Disability Pride Day in the City of Concord. And encourage all residents to recognize the contributions, rights, history, and ongoing leadership of people with disabilities, and to celebrate the continued pursuit of access, belonging, inclusive education, intersectional equity, and disability justice for all. Congratulations, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That was a lie. And he wasn't even here.
Everybody give a round of applause to Judith real quick. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, and I just got a request, let's give a special shout out to disabled veterans.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your sacrifice. Proclamations matter, right? They recognize our history, they recognize contributions, and they remind us that people with disabilities are an important part of the city of Concord, the state of New Hampshire, and our country. But if disability history teaches us one thing, it's this. Recognition says we see you, and belonging says you were always meant to be here. We don't gather here today asking for permission to belong, right, Bodie? Yeah, Bodie. We gather here to build communities where belonging is the expectation. That's what disability pride has always been about. Disability pride doesn't mean life is easy. It doesn't mean barriers have disappeared, and it really doesn't mean our work is finished, because there's a lot more we have to do, right? Disability pride means telling a truth that we all need to hear. The truth that every body and every mind belongs. The truth that diversity has never been our weakness, excluding people has been. The truth that our differences aren't problems to solve, they're strengths to embrace. That belonging should not ever depend on fitting someone else's definition of what normal is. And the truth that our communities are stronger when every person has the opportunity to participate. But gatherings like today, they don't happen by accident. Neither do the opportunities that many of us have here today. Every step forward came because people believe that our communities could be better. People with disabilities organized, neighbors organized, families organized, and guess what? We kept showing up and we kept doing it. We kept telling our stories. They understood that something that we're still learning today, that people with disabilities were never the problem, but the barriers were. Because rights don't stay strong on their own, because we have to defend them. Today, we're having conversations about Medicaid, about what inclusive housing and community living should look like, about why inclusive education is so important for our children and our future, about thriving in our communities. These might sound all like different conversations, but aren't they really all asking the same thing? Who belongs? Does every person deserve to live in the community of their choice? Yes. Does every child deserve to learn alongside their classmates and in their own neighborhoods? Does every family deserve the support that they need? Does every person deserve the opportunity to participate fully in community life? Our answer here and our answer always will be yes, right? That's why Medicaid matters. It helps people remain connected to their communities. That's why the promise of Olmsted, and if you don't know about Olmsted, please learn more right here. That's why Olmsted matters. Because belonging should never depend on how hard someone has to fight for it. That's why education matters. Because children are students first. Let me repeat that. All students are students first. And every child should prepare, every school should prepare every child to thrive. These are not all separate issues. They're all part of building something bigger. I also want you all to notice something about today. This isn't just a disability community. Today we're joined by organizations and allies from all over New Hampshire. I know Creighton mentioned a whole bunch of them earlier. But organizations that are working on racial justice, where are they? On LGBTQ plus equality, on education, on the arts, on healthcare, on housing, on oral healthcare, and so much more. And especially our democracy. Because people don't live single issue lives, do they? For many of us, this is the first time that we've stood together like this. That matters. Disability touches every neighborhood, every school, every community, and every workplace. Building communities where everyone belongs isn't the responsibility of just one community. It's the responsibility for everyone. People often say everyone deserves a seat at the table, and I agree. But I think our work needs to be bigger than that. Sometimes the table itself was built without everybody in mind. Sometimes the doors to the room are too narrow. Sometimes the information isn't shared in a way everyone can understand. Sometimes sometimes you can't get into the door because there's no ramp. And sometimes people are invited to listen, but not to lead. So our job isn't just to pull out another chair, it's to build better tables where everyone belongs from the very beginning. That's the future we're building, not just for people with disabilities, but for everybody. That's why disability pride matters, because the movement has never been about asking people to lower barriers for one group. It's about building communities where inclusion is expected. Communities built for everybody and every mind, because in the end, we were always meant to be together. Progress has never been automatic. Every right we celebrate today exists because people organized, protested, challenged assumptions, and refused to accept exclusion as inevitable. Our next speaker reminds us that disability pride isn't just about celebrating where we've been, it's about remembering who fought to get us here and recognizing the work that still lies ahead. Please welcome Angelina Jolie. Wow! Angelina Leo.
First of all, I wish. Thank you. So, hi everyone, and happy Disability Pride Month. As you heard, my name is Angelina Leo, and I have multiple disabilities, including Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, POTS, ADHD, autism, dyslexia, and so much more. I hope everyone today I hope everyone is enjoying today so far. I know I am. I've had the pleasure to meet so many people today that I wouldn't have otherwise. We have built this community through shared experience and hardships. And that is part of the reason why we are here today, to recognize those hardships and struggles and to appreciate the motivation and perseverance that we have to keep moving forward. We also celebrate this month to give recognition to those who have passed due to conditions and the struggle that they went through. There have been many that have served our community and many that have passed as well, and we recognize them. We celebrate everyone for living in a world and society that was not exactly built for us, but pushed forward anyways. We celebrate the rights we have fought for and the rights that we are still fighting towards. We recognize our past, the pain, the suffering, and continue to look for a better life for us and those that surround us. Because no one should have to go through the pain of fighting for basic rights, and yet we do. And that's why we have pride. We have taken many steps forward from the initial signing of the ADA back in 1990, along with the protests that made that happen, which would be like the Capitol crawl, the 26-day sit-ins, the letters of struggles, the help from the queer community, and from help from the women's rights communities, as long as all minorities. We all intersect each other to help each other build. We would not have rights without them, and they wouldn't have any without us as well. We would still have major institutions if not for people who fought before us, and we are still burdened by that threat today in our current administration. We fight for basic rights, and yet still find ourselves reaching for something that the general public does not see exactly right yet. We are the largest minority group in the world. We are the minority that everyone will either join before they get the chance to, die before they get the chance to, or join eventually. That is why we fight. That is why we strive for inclusion, not just access. Because we may be able to access something, but in our society, that doesn't inherently mean that we are treated as equal to those around us. There are going to be people in power who wish for humanity to be perfection. We tend not to be that in that picture and fight for the understanding that we are human too. We fight the concept of eugenics because there is nothing wrong with us. In fact, society has created this barrier to what humans should look and act like. That itself is a slippery slope where many end up getting hurt in the process of perfection. It is that perfection that we destroy by existing, and that is why people see being disabled as a curse instead of part of existence. That is why we try to get people to understand, and why we can't get everyone around us to understand. However, if we can change one mind, it means that we can change more. We can, will, and have built a community for people like ourselves, to thrive despite the struggles. Just look and feel around you today. We did this. This would not be unheard of 50 years ago, and yet we did it. This is why we celebrate. This is why we have pride. Not to say that disabilities are hard to live with, because they are, but pushing forward to create joy, life, love, and community, that's why we have pride. I'm proud to be disabled. I wouldn't be who I am today without my disabilities, building and shaping my view of the world around me. It has made me a better human and person to understand injustices firsthand, and to see it happen to others makes me want to fight. Because we are all living in a single sphere floating in space. Let's be honest here, like we're just a speck in the universe. And what would be if not a community that included everyone? I'll tell you what we would be. Sad. We would be sad and not living life to the fullest we could possibly be. That is why we hope to bring what we hope to bring with the following year. Community and a safe place for people to feel like they belong and aren't alone. That is pride. We are pride. We are disabled, and to me, there's no difference between that.
Thank you, Angelina Rigo. And thank you for reminding us that progress is never just about laws. Our next speaker is someone I've had the privilege to be a part of their story, who I've known for several years. I was their teacher. Watching them grow into this person who you are today, and has been it's been amazing for me, and I'm really excited to hear what you guys say. Come on, Z.
Hello. I've had the privilege of having Dr. Esposito as my teacher since freshman year, who eventually left, unfortunately, but came to do New Hampshire events. Firstly, I'd like to thank him for being in my life and encouraging me to come out of my shell and become a better person. I would also like to thank New Hampshire for giving me the opportunity to speak and work for them on occasion. It means so much to me that he's leaded me for 40 years that I've known him, and I'm eternally grateful to be able to share my experience with everyone as someone with a disability. As you can see, I am also trans. I'm wearing a trans shirt today. And it's so important that so many communities are here today to celebrate everyone equally. As some of you may know, not all disabilities are fully visible, and I myself am affected by it. Today, I was asked to share my story with everyone and how my disabilities affected me. Around the age of 8, I was first diagnosed with PTSD, depression, and high levels of anxiety. All of these eventually became worse as I grew older, since I couldn't figure out how to regulate my emotions, and I did not have the accessible care to get these things. Since my original diagnosis, I've made so much progress in learning how to regulate myself and find ways on how to navigate my day-to-day life. I've been so incredibly blessed by multiple people who have fought and advocated for me, which I'm fully aware not everyone can get. But I'm so grateful that I have had people in my life to help fight for me in my right to be in and get all the care that I need. Through school accommodations, years of therapy, and challenging myself to not hide when things get too overwhelming, including this, as well as build an incredible support network, things slowly have become more accessible to me, so I can show others how capable I am of succeeding in multiple areas of my life. And because of these people, I am so eternally grateful that I am able to go to college, the college that I chose, and do the things I want to do in my life. I still have days and even some nights where I feel this crushing weight on my chest, and I feel so incredibly anxious. I go when I get out of bed in the morning. But in the end, I know there are so many things that I want to do, and there are so many people that I want to do this for and advocate for. My friends, partner, family, and every single kind person I've had the incredible ability to be here today and on other events such as this, have given me the strength to continue to fight for disabilities and prides such as this. My life's been incredibly hard, and yet I will continue to not let the barriers society has created to slow me down, and will always find ways to persevere through it all. If there's anything to take away from my story, it's to keep going. Even if your life crumbles in front of your eyes due to unforeseen circumstances, or you just can't get out of bed in the morning, continue to do your best, because your best is all you can do in life.
I'm so proud of you, Z. Thank you so much, Z. So Z kind of was telling us what's possible next, right? And stepping up and moving on and moving forward. And that's the question every parent has to ask, right? That's the question every teacher should ask, and that's the question every community should ask. So our final speaker reminds us that when children are surrounded by belonging instead of barriers, possibility has the room to grow. And I want to introduce Kristen.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kristen, and I'm incredibly honored to be celebrating Disability Pride with all of you. My daughter Fiona is here today. You probably just saw her running back and forth in front of us. She's a 9-year-old little girl with brown hair, laughing, moving her body, and exploring instead of standing next to me. And honestly, that's exactly where she should be. Not on stage proving anything, but simply existing as herself. I'm often introduced as Fiona's mom. That is one of the greatest privileges of my life. But today, I don't want to tell you a story about overcoming disability. I want to talk about belonging. When Fiona was diagnosed as autistic, the world immediately started to measure everything she couldn't do. She doesn't speak, she learns differently, she needs support. People looked at her and saw limitations. I looked at her and saw my daughter. Somewhere along the way, I realized the hardest part of raising Fiona wasn't autism. It wasn't learning an AAC device. It wasn't the therapies. It wasn't adapting our lives. The hardest part has been convincing others that she belongs exactly where every other child belongs. She belongs in mainstream classrooms, even if she learns differently. She belongs in music class, on field trips, in libraries, in restaurants, and one day in the workplace with her community. She doesn't have to become less disabled to belong, because she already does. Disability Pride means recognizing that disabled people don't have to earn their place in our schools, our communities, our workplaces, or our friendships, because they already belong. One of the greatest gifts Fiona has given me is the changing the way I understand communication. Most people think communication is speech, when it isn't. Communication is connection, expression, sharing your thoughts, your dreams, your fears, and your humor. And for Fiona, that communication happens through an AAC device, through songs, through gestures, and sometimes her voice. An AAC is often misunderstood as just an iPad or a device. It isn't. It's language, it's access, it's autonomy, and it's a human right. Every person deserves a way to communicate, not because they have proven that they are smart enough, not because they have earned it, because communication is a part of being human. One phrase that has guided nearly every decision I've made for my daughter is presume competence. If we are wrong and we presume competence, we've offered someone respect, opportunity, and access. If we are wrong and we presume incompetence, we may deny someone an education, friendships, communication, and a chance to show us who they really are. That isn't a small mistake. That shaped an entire life. Disability Pride also asks us to think differently about inclusion. Too often, inclusion is treated as something disabled people must earn, if they behave, if they catch up, and if they can keep up. But inclusion is not a reward for meeting someone else's expectation. It's a civil right. Belonging doesn't come after proving your worth. Belonging comes first. Children learn because they are included, not after they are included. Every child deserves to learn beside their peers. Every adult deserves to participate in the community. Disabled people do not need to fit into the world exactly as it is. The world has a responsibility to become accessible to everyone. Real inclusion isn't inviting disabled people into spaces that weren't built for them. It's designing our schools, our communities, our playgrounds, our workplaces, and our expectations so everyone belongs from the very beginning. Because when we build a world that includes disabled people, we build a world for everyone. Inclusion doesn't lower the standard, it raises our humanity, and that responsibility belongs to all of us. As Fiona's grown, I realized something important. I don't advocate because I want the world to admire her. I advocate because I want the world to respect her. There is a difference. Disabled people do not need inspiration. They need to be seen as complete human beings whose value has never depended on how independently they can live, how clearly they can speak, or how closely they resemble everyone else. That is what disability pride means to me. It's not pretending disability is easy. It is recognizing that disability is a part of human diversity. It's refusing shame, celebrating identity, demanding dignity, and believing that every disabled person deserves a life full of joy, friendship, purpose, love, and belonging. So today I want to leave you with one challenge. The next time you meet someone who communicates differently, slow down, be curious, presume competence, speak to them, not about them. Make room, listen with more than your ears, because communication doesn't only happen with a voice. When you leave here today, I hope you don't simply think differently about disability. I hope you act differently. Invite the disabled child to the birthday party, hire the disabled adult, build playgrounds every child can use, support communication in every form, choose inclusion not because disabled people have earned it, but because it has always been their right. Because inclusion isn't something we celebrate once a year, it's something we practice every single day. And finally, there comes a day when disability pride is not necessary anymore, because inclusion is simply woven into the fabrics of our communities. But until that day, we'll keep showing up, we'll keep advocating, we'll keep communicating, we'll keep demanding access, and we'll keep reminding the world of something that has always been true. Disabled people have never needed permission to belong. They always have. Thank you.
You all to look at the people standing beside you. Everyone has different experiences, different backgrounds, different stories, different perspectives. You might not know it, you might not understand it, but reach out to somebody and learn from them. And yet here we are, we're all here together. For the rest of your time here, I hope you visit all the many organizations up and down these columns. Check out the accessible mobile dental unit. If you haven't checked that out yet, that is so cool. Please just go check it out. It is one of the, it is a mobile dental unit that is a full dental office that you could go in there and schedule an appointment and get help. And if you don't know the battle and the struggle of oral health care for people with disabilities in our state, please learn more about it, because that is something that we have to fight for and access like that. Also, go sit behind the wheel of Wilma. Is it Wilma? Wilma, and what's the other car's name? Not yet? Do you get like a driver's certificate where you like all of a sudden have a name? Is it like a whole ceremony? Go check out their vehicles, because there's so many people that are told that they can't drive, and because they have a disability. This is an organization that will help and support and make accommodations to a vehicle for you. And you can also learn more about driver's education and different types of programs. Please go check them out, because it is a huge resource, and we all know transportation is a huge barrier. Speaking of transportation, check out the transportation information that we have provided. Our Transportation Equity Task Force, our TREC, has been working very hard, very diligently on just removing barriers and having people understand the transportation access and what we have available. Also, go make some art with Queer Elective. Where are they? We haven't done that yet. Go make some art with them. We need to support the arts because they don't. Tell your Medicaid story. Where's our Medicaid booth? Where's Otto? Go tell your story, because we need Medicaid stories more than ever right now. It is being threatened. There are people people trying to remove Medicaid and make it more challenging and make it more complicated, go tell your story. Go tell your story why it's so important for everybody and for yourself and for your family. The booth is about halfway down the middle aisle. Blue tent. You can see it over there. Also, go learn about housing and inclusive communities. One of the things that we are struggling with right now is that housing in general for everyone in New Hampshire is very short. And we need to grow, and we need to have more affordable housing, right? Let's get a round of applause for affordable housing. But we also need to build housing that has inclusive communities in mind, because we don't want to go backwards. We do not want to go back to isolated and segregated housing options. And we need more people to understand the dangers and understand the lofty goals of what our housing work is currently doing.
We sure do, yes.
Yes, we do. Thank you. Also, go become an ABLE member, because we need you. And finally, please, 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 if you do one thing, go check your voting registration. Because in November, we all need to get out there and vote. Vote for access, vote to remove barriers, and vote for people with disabilities to thrive. We also want to shout out 21 Senses. Where are they? Because they built like a whole playground in like 20 minutes back there. Go play, go enjoy, go experience some sensory activities. Thank you so much to all these different groups. But more importantly, go meet someone new. Go meet somebody you haven't spoken to before and go learn about them and go learn about a new organization. Ask a question and start a conversation. Because this is where belonging grows, in relationships, in conversations. It's not on social media. It's a chance to build the kind of community we've all been talking about all day. Every community for everybody and every mind. Thank you, and happy Disability Pride, everybody. Woo! Let's get the party going.
Sure. So the IOD has a lot of different programs that support people with disabilities in all different ways. But the Assistive Technology in New Hampshire program is a state Assistive Technology Act program, and we have a really large lending library of assistive technology tools that people from all over the state can borrow to try out before they decide what they're going to buy that might help them to do different tasks. We also have a Maker Ability program that some of the tools that are made are here today for adapted art activities. And the Maker Ability program is connecting all different maker spaces and makers from around the state to 3D print assistive technology that we then provide to people at no cost. So you can get on our website and order an adapted pen holder or a bottle opener or a seatbelt grabber or releaser and no charge. And then we also come out and do demonstrations and trainings for people around assistive technology and how it can make life easier.
Awesome. How has been your collaboration with Able New Hampshire been so far?
Oh, fantastic. I get to sit and meet with them a lot around different disability needs. They refer people to us for assistive technology. I refer people to them, and we collaborate on a lot of different projects. I got to meet on the That's Inclusive podcast 3 months ago, and that was really fun.
How's the event been today, and how's it been meeting people?
It's fantastic. My favorite part about today is in getting to see people use the adapted art materials and be able to draw and color with all different ways of holding the devices, but also getting to meet OTs and PTs and speech and other people who didn't necessarily know our services exist and are now learning about it and going to get to use assistive technology to support it.
stop by and take a look. I would not put it on
There's so many here. I haven't even had all the opportunity to walk around yet. I think that all of the different organizations that do recreational things, I know Trace is over on the other side, and she does a whole bunch of community recreational activities for folks who are disabled over in Sullivan County. You got there's so many different organizations here. I think that the ability to connect and meet all of the different partners is amazing.
I think that's it. Is there anything else you'd like to say before I go?
I think this is a great event. I'm super excited to be here. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right.
What you're doing here and what University of New Hampshire Institute of Disability does in the community.
Excellent. Hi all, I'm Sarah Sadowski. I'm from Concord, New Hampshire. I'm with the Institute on Disabilities New Hampshire Leadership Series. What we do is we train folks with disabilities and their family members on the history, systems, and policies related to disability in our state. And I've been doing this for about 5 years. I am a regular attendee of the Disability Justice Parade, so glad to be here today. And my Y is just off camera. Angelina, you want to say hello? Here. So this is my daughter, Angelina. Angelina is a senior at Concord High and a huge part of why I do this work and has introduced me to an incredible community. So thank you all and thank you for being here.
Yeah, and fun fact, Sarah and I were introduced to each other back in April when I went to Concord for a policy meeting.
That's right.
Congresswoman Goodlander.
Yeah, excellent. Getting good policy done. Thanks, Ian.
Patrick, the Executive Director of Disability Rights Center, New Hampshire, and we're so excited to be part of this event to be able to support disability justice and disability pride across the state of New Hampshire. We provide legal advocacy for people with disabilities, all kinds of disabilities from all over the state of all ages, including access to home and community-based services, institutional rights, educational rights, and a wide gamut of disability-related issues. People want to find out more, they can go to our website. It's drcnh.org, and we're always happy to talk to people about what we do, and we're glad to be here in support.
And real quick, just if you would spell your name.
Yep. It's Stephanie, S-T-E-P-H-A-N-I-E, Patrick, P-A-T-R-I-C-K, and Disability Rights Center, New Hampshire.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, so my name is Ryan Donnelly. I'm a policy analyst at Granite State Independent Living. So it's my job to look through all the legislation that comes in every year through the State House and identify what could impact our organization and the people that we serve in the disability community. So we work hard to ensure that people have the supports and resources to live independently in their home.
Hi, I'm Sarah Chadzinski, and I'm here at Able New Hampshire's Disability Pride event in the capital of our state, in Concord, right by our State House. Disability Pride is so important because we the people means all the people. And that means our neurospicy people, that means our people of varied ability and disability, and it means creating a world that includes everybody in our day-to-day lives and bringing out their superpowers that bring so much to our communities, to our economy, to our culture, to our families, and to our friend groups. So it's really important to be here today.
And as everybody might remember, Sarah and I were on the Oven Zone Works episode number 6 back in March talking about that very thing.
I'm glad you remember the episode number. And this is something that I will keep championing and really appreciate the event today to make sure that we highlight this part of our community that is an essential fabric in the blanket of who we are.
Well, wrong way. And welcome back into HCTV in Hudson, and now we're going to be closing out the program. Hope you all have enjoyed the interviews, the sights and sounds from the Disability Pride Parade and Festival 2026 in Concord. And we go, some of our previous guests here, Alejandro Urita, my co-producer of the program, Sarah Trzynski, who joined us for part number 6, Shauna Hallberg, who joined us in part number 4, now former State Representative Heath Howard, who joined me in part number 3, and State Representative Lily Foss, who joined myself and Dr. Louis Espeto back in part number 2 in January of this year. Dr. Louis Espeto, who's joined me on 2 separate occasions. Kristen Evans, who joined me in part number 3, and Sarah Georgian, who was most recently on in the in-studio part number 14 back in June. Then we've got a little behind the camera, behind the scenes call out here, and that includes Executive Director, Able New Hampshire, Dr. Louis Espeto, who was kind enough to invite us along for their event in Concord, so thank you for that. And Mike Johnson, Director of Community Media here at HCTV, Matt Guerrero, also the production coordinator here at HCTV, and as I've gotten fond of doing, hi Mike Pylon, wherever you're watching this from, and also my co-producer Alejandro Urita. Then we get into Of Its Own Words Online. Handles are the second row down on the table. Blue Sky, Of Its Own Words .nh.bluesky.social, short form update can be found there. Facebook.com, keyword Of Its Own Words, again, short form update can be found there. Then we go over to the YouTube channel and Of Its Own Words -NH, HCTV produced and self-produced videos can be found there all. And I believe we're up to almost 2 dozen in all on that. And while on Substack.com, handle Of Its Own Words, where we have the long form updates and our quasi-regular blog post, the hyperlink into the Hudson Community TV website, and keyword Of Its Own Words, and all 14 in-studio programs will be available there. Then we go to on YouTube. Here's the breakdown of what's on YouTube at the moment in terms of the in-studio side of it. Part 1, introduction. Part 2, autism and the New Hampshire legislature. Preview. Part 3, the New Hampshire legislative process from February of this year. Story of House Bill 1316, autism data privacy, in regard to everything that went on with that in March. Legislative crossover day update, also from March, or excuse me, part 4 was February, part 5 was March, excuse me. Part number 6 is when I had Sarah Trzynski join me, and then Dr. Louis Espeto and I talked about the Autism Council in late March of 2026 in part number 7. And then we go part number 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 were all ones that I anchored myself here in studio. Part 8 and 9 were along the lines of addressing the autism discussion in the country. Part 8 was actually the original speech from summer and fall of 2025. Part 9 addressed what happened during the winter in terms of new developments in the debate. Part number 10 was the timeline reintroduction and look back upon the show so far. And that one was in early May. Parts 8 and 9 were in April. Part number 11 and 12, and 13 are all legislative related, and that's late May, mid-late May and early June that we're talking about here. And then we have Able New Hampshire Disability Pride Preview with Sarah Georgian, one from middle of June of this year. And there will be an in-studio part number 15 coming up, and once again, I'm still not 100% on tipping our hand on that one just yet, but you'll be pleasantly surprised on what's coming up there. Oh yes, and did I mention we're branching out to On Location as part of the series now in its own separate thread, and that'll be coming soon. So, around the time that, to finish out the program today, I want to share a little bit of background on how this came about. Around the time I started discussing part number 14 with Louis Espeto of Able New Hampshire, he presented me with an opportunity to take, of his own words, New Hampshire On Location, of which we're doing this with this show. Basically, we started talking about this around the same time we were planning for part number 14 of the in-studio series. What you've seen during this program, or will be seeing during the program, is some of the sights and sounds of what's going on with the event in Concord. Some of the organizations that attended are featured in the program. And then finally, we'll be getting into just an overall of what the day looked like. While you're at it, check us out on the aforementioned handles and search keywords of its own words on Facebook, Blue Sky, Substack, HCTV website, and our YouTube channel. And we'll have part number 15 coming up in studio later on in the month of July here in the next couple of weeks, and stay tuned for that. Certainly this is going to be this has been a unique opportunity, a unique chance, and thank you for watching, and we'll be back in studio for part 15 late in July, later on here in July. Again, big name guest coming up, trying to keep it a surprise, so really looking forward to both what the Disability Pride Parade and Festival event brings, and also looking at what we have coming up later on in the month. Thanks for watching.